Hey, I'm Carlos. Let's see today a bit about the binding module on Ruby. It's a really powerful resource, and maybe you already use like Byebug or binding price. So binding is the base of this kind of tools. And today we will create our own debug tool similar to Byebug to have a better understanding about how it can be useful for you. And as you can see here on the summary, binding catches the variable method value, the context itself of your code you're running. And you can take this context and send it to somewhere or manipulate it like Byebug does. We can here start by, for example, creating a method called foo. Foo. We can store like a value in a variable like hello world. And here, binding is already present and already has the value of this variable and the context itself of your code. So if you call binding here, it will works because it's already present. Like we call ruby main.rb, it's working. Binding is already present, and you can access the context using some methods. For example, you can access the var value calling var or variable get, passing the variable name here. Okay, no errors, just let's add them puts here, and here we are. So binding is already storing the value here. We can see better if we create, for example, another method, foo1, receive here the binding. Let's call context to not have name conflicts. Context, and let's move to here and call foo1 passing or binding as a parameter and work it. So Byebug and another debug tools works similar with this. Of course, is pretty more complex, but if you know Ruby, you remember we have a console attached on Ruby. So if you have Ruby installed on your machine, you have the ERB available to use. When you call ERB, you have this console and you can run here Ruby code normally like he did here. We can just paste, the Ruby code to the console. But what is the magic here? We can use binding to pass this context to a console. For example, we can have here ERB with this context sent to ERB. Similar with Byebug does. So if you already use a Byebug, for example, and you place, for example, Byebug here, you will have console similar to ERB, but with the context available to manipulate, debug, inspect, etc. So let's do a similar thing here using ERB. So let's delete this code and create from zero. We can simulate here a bug and call our debugger when this exception happens. So we can, for example, create a method called method with bug. We can start a variable called, for example, name. Let's start a value like my name, Carlos. We can enforce an error here using, for example, rise something broke, and we can rescue the error here and call our debugger here. We still don't have this debugger. We will build it. Let's just add in block here back in. Let's make this more organized. Begin rise name. Okay, and here we will have our custom debug, but we still don't have this debug present. So let's implement it. custom debugger will receive a context pretty similar with our previous implementation. So in here, let's start ERB with the context. Let's just call here the. So our goal here is to create a debugger pretty similar with Byebug, but using ERB. And for this, we can first of all require ERB. So now ERB is available for us. So let's call our ERB here. And now we need to set up ERB to use the context of this method so we can inspect, for example, the variable name. To do this, first of all, we need to call setup and make it empty. Now we need to create an workspace instance. Workspace allows us to receive the context and prepare to be used to ERB. So it's basically context, workspace, we receive the context. Now we need to pass the context to ERB. So we will start a new console here. We will call ERB new. Oops. Receiving the workspace. Now this instance of ERB has the context of this method, so we are almost done here. Pretty easy. And we need two more pretty important configurations here for ERB. The last one will be configuration that says to ERB to wait for us to finish the console manually. So if you not apply it, for example, let's already call here the custom debugger. Let's pass the context of this method. Let's call method with bug here. So as you just saw, the custom debugger was called, but the method suddenly stopped. We need to say to ERB to wait for us to type exit, like we does here, ERB exit. We need to say to ERB, wait for us to type exit. So to do this, you just need to pass, to use the catch keyword, pass the symbol ERB exit, and receive your input. So when our input will be exit, the ERB will close. If not, it will be running eternally. And another one is pass to ERB the main context. So we need to say to ERB, our context will be this guy. For this, we need to paste this command. So for now, ERB will use this workspace to work. So let's do this in practice. Oops, is it? As you can see here, this ERB opened from here. Now he's waiting for us to type exit. So if we type exit, but the most cool thing here, the ERB has the context of this method. So you can, for example, now type name, and you have the context of this method. So binding is really powerful, and on the next video we will see a more advanced example using this code to create a remote server and connect to exactly the same spot the error happened, so you can debug remotely, like from another device, from another computer, or debug and code running on your server using this exactly implementation. I hope to see you in the next video. Thank you for watching.